German and French for many, many years here in Cobb County and before that in England. And as things moved along and the need for more authentic materials seemed to become very important, especially if you're working for the College Board and APs, authentic materials is the big deal. And I found myself spending hours and hours trying to find relevant YouTubes and such like relevant materials to support my teaching. And I wish that this is language had been around. I'm now retired, semi-retired, but I'm still teaching in some capacity, but I sincerely wish that this is language had been available when I was doing high school teaching, because they do all the work for you, almost all the work for you. This is language is a company out of Great Britain, so some of the terminology might be a little strange, but I'm also originally from England, so bear with me on that. It is based on authentic videos, with the stress on the authentic. They go to the country in question and they record people unscripted so that your students will get used to spontaneous, unscripted language, the sort of language that they'll hear when they go to the country. And they will learn the sound patterns. How often have you heard, oh, well, we tried to speak Spanish or German or whatever when we went there, but nobody could understand us and we couldn't understand them. And I think this is an excellent way to give them confidence in the spoken language and really help with their listening comprehension. As Michaela said, this is a free trial to you teachers in Georgia until the end of this school year, which is not too far away now. I think this could be a wonderful resource for when students are flagging in their interest. It'll re-energize them, I guarantee that. So don't think, oh, it's almost the end of the school year, it's not worth it. It most definitely is, and I'm going to show you why. I hope you can see the screen. The program, as I said, is based on videos, a collection of over 3,500 videos. In French, German, Spanish. If you can see the screen, and you can see me hovering over the French flag here, if I wanted to change it to Spanish, I would just click here and it would change. And again, if I wanted to change it to German, I would hover over the German flag. I am a French and German speaker. My Spanish is not very good. Hablo un poco español, so bear with me. I thought that we would do this one in French today. Please see how easy it is to switch languages on here. I have so many people writing to me and saying, oh, it's all in French. How do I get it in Spanish? All you need to do is hover. Okay? And then you want to choose a video. So look what you have here. You have everything thematically organized for you: friends, family, free time and leisure, education, etc., etc. And you just choose a subject on which you're working at this time. I will also show you later, there are 3 ways actually to select the videos. You could either use a keyword like family, put it in here. There is also a downloadable resource booklet with all the videos and all the subjects cross-referenced. So if you teach, like I did, 2 languages and you want to sort of be doing the same thing more or less in French and Spanish, for example, then you will see. I'll show you that later. But for right now, we're going to go this way. I chose today your family because that's something that we often start off with. There are various difficulty levels depending on the number of stars. So we'll probably have some people who are not really expert French speakers on this webinar. So I'm going to choose the easiest ones, and you'll see that you've got various questions. Tu t'entends bien avec ta famille? Do you get on with your family? And perhaps what we always start on is, parle-moi un peu de ta famille. Talk to me a little bit about your family. So I am going to demonstrate this video to you here. And Michaela told me the sound isn't brilliant, so I hope this is going to be okay.
Alors, on est une famille de 5 personnes. J'ai 2 frères, un grand frère et un frère jumeau. Donc, c'est un peu dur pour ma mère qui est entourée de 4 garçons. Donc, son père et puis moi et mes 2 frères. Mon grand frère, il a 27 ans. Donc, il est beaucoup plus âgé que moi et mon frère jumeau. J'ai un frère jumeau. Et il ne vit plus à la maison. Il vit chez lui avec sa femme et sa fille. Voilà, j'ai aussi une petite nièce.
So that was the first time they hear it, and they're probably quite confused. But by the time they've worked through it, you will be amazed at how their vocabulary is going to grow. If you've got more advanced students, as I said earlier, you just pick the difficulty level based on the number of stars. But I'm going for the very first level today. There are 4 main activities that you can work with on the video. There's Jigsaw, where you drag and drop the words into the correct box, and this is all timed. So and everything that the students do, they get points for, and these are all collected up at some great administrative castle in the sky somewhere, and at the end of every week they will see that it will be published on the leaderboard which school and which class are the winners, and first, second, third, and so on and so forth. We'll take a look at that later. All right, drag and drop. At the same time, you can't expect the children to have remembered all that video, so they can play it to help them as they go along. You might have some real high flyers who can drag and drop very quickly. Remember, this is a timed exercise, and they can play it as often as they want. So you might get your high flyers getting it done very quickly, where some others may have to play it over and over. If you wanted to do this activity over again, let me just get rid of this box here. Okay. You'll find that different blanks are left each time. So here we go.
Alors, on est une famille de 5 personnes. J'ai 2 frères, un grand frère et un frère jumeau. Donc, c'est un peu dur pour ma mère qui est entourée de 4.
Oh, I didn't get that word. So then you could go back, play it again, then maybe you think, perhaps this is the right thing, I think that fits there, and continue. Okay, so you get the idea, and you can play it, the students can play it as often or as little as they need to until they think they've got all their answers. Submit answers, and it will come back and tell me you need to fill in all the gaps. So let's fill in all the gaps here. Okay. Donc son. Oh my goodness, I need to play that again.
Alors, on est une famille de 5 personnes. J'ai 2 frères, un grand frère et un frère jumeau. Donc, c'est un peu dur pour ma mère qui est entourée de 4 garçons.
Ok. C'est un peu dur pour ma mère qui est entourée de 4 garçons, etc., etc. And when they have completed it, their score will come up, and then they can either do it over because different gaps will come up, or they can proceed to the next exercise. which is the video. One thing I should have said is at the beginning of the Jigsaw, you saw it really quickly. This screen is cut because I've got a little box up here. You can see all the vocabulary that will be covered in this section, and you might want to go over that with the students first. Right, the vocabulary section. Complete the first chunk taken from this video. And this time they're going to get some audio prompts as well. Okay, if you want to see all the words that are coming up, there they are. You might want to work through those first. Obviously, I'm giving a very short and quick overview today. Okay, and they're going to complete in here the word. Okay, the home, let's see. I think la maison. Could that be right? And you submit it by pressing on enter, and you hear, and so on and so forth. To proceed, you just keep on hitting the enter button. La fille. I know I've spelt that wrong. I want to show you what happens. Okay, and you cannot go on until you've written it again. So you're going to write up here, enter, la fille. 2 L's this time. Was that correct? Yes. Okay. And so on until they've done all the words. And again, you can do it as many times or as few times as you want to, because it is chunked, so they're not going to be overwhelmed by too much vocabulary at one time. Again, it's a timed exercise, and they're getting points every time. Okay. By the time they get to Gapfill, they've probably got quite a good idea of the vocabulary. And of course, I don't know how many of us still give vocabulary lists, but you can always do that too. Give them a vocabulary list, and I'll show you how to do that afterwards. Gapfill. Again, another timed exercise based on the words from the video. And if you want to learn this vocabulary list first, then the first step, again, is watching the video again. Here's the vocabulary. Okay, I'm sorry, I've gone back to the vocabulary I meant to do. No, we're not going to do all that again. We're going to go straight to the exercise. Okay. But you get the idea. You can practice all the words again before you do it if you feel that that's necessary. This time they probably will need to listen to it again. But there's no word bank. Okay, no word bank. So they hear the word. They've got to remember what they've practiced before. Fill in the gaps. Okay, de cinq, and I heard there personne, and so on and so forth. Once again, every time you do it, there are different blanks, so you can work this over and over till you really feel that the students are very familiar with the words, with the spellings of the words, and so on, and they can work at their own pace on this exercise. I'm not taking the time to fill out the whole thing, but they submit their answers. They get a big woozers, I think it is, if they get them all right, and their points are all added up. Okay, and finally, we are going to go to the comprehension section. You see what I did there. If ever you want to go back to the home page, you just click on this is language. Okay, we've done that. So enter. Right. Okay. Then there is a comprehension exercise based on your video. And this is the button here for the comprehension exercise. Okay? You can listen again to the video if necessary. Read all the questions before you start. Click on the questions to select and use the video controls and pause and control through the video as you go. One thing I want to tell you here is that if you wish, you can choose to have the comprehension questions and answers in the target language. I have it set right now on English, but if you want to have it on the in the target language, I will show you how to access that in just a few minutes. Okay, so we've been through all the exercises. I want to get rid of this screen here. All right, so we've done all this. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to use it with the students? First of all, you can print down the transcript. This is a Word document. You can print it down. You can try highlighting different parts of the text. One thing I like to do is to print it down, cut it up into different strips and have them arrange it in the right order and so on. Then, my computer is very slow today. Then, I'm sorry, I've had a lot of trouble with my UVerse. Just lately I had the engineers in today because I wanted to make sure that it was working for this afternoon, but it still seemed very slow, so I apologize. You can also print down a worksheet. Okay, you can download it. Show you what it looks like. Well, here we go. This is not air, there we are. Okay, you've got the script again, you've got words from the text to translate, you've got vocabulary, how well you understood the text, and so on. Okay. And then, finally, after all this, you need to set an exercise for your students. You can choose what you want them to do. Who is it for? When is it due? So let's say watch the video, select a class. Well, we haven't selected a class, we haven't created a class yet, which we're just about to do. When is the exercise due? And email it to the students. You can preview what you've set, save it, and it will automatically be sent to your students. And this is the best part, it will be graded for them. It will be graded for them. All right, so we know the videos, we know the way we can access different themes, we know what we can do with the various videos, and we're ready to assign to a class. So what do? You hover over your name here. By the way, I'll also show you how to get an avatar, which the kids usually find quite fun. I do wish I could get this stupid thing out of the way. There we go. Let's put it over to the side. And go to your classes. How to set up a class? Very, very easy. Add a class. I'm going to set up a fictitious class for you today, and you can play around with this and do the same thing. You won't break anything on the site. it's very, very easy. You know, you can edit it and get rid of your fictitious class as soon as you finish playing with it. It will not be there forever. So I'm going to call this class French. That was a very easy video, so 1A, not 1AZ. Year group, okay, year group 7. By the way, when we say year group, that corresponds to our American grade level. So year 7 in England would be grade 7th grade here, and the owner, Janet Ward. Create a class. Okay, there are a few different ways to do this. You can copy and paste students. You can, if you want, you can use an Excel sheet and it will give you instructions on what to do with that. Okay. Or you can simply add their names in one by one. And I am going to do today in my class Bernie Sanders. I am going to do Donald Trump. And I guess we probably should do Hillary Clinton. Oops, Clinton. Okay, and you can add as many students as you want to into your class. All right, so let's get this out of the way again. This is really, I cannot move this thing around. And then you are going to just hit create and your class will be created. I just cannot get this thing off my screen. Okay, so you add your students. They will automatically be given a password when they go in. They log in with their password and then they are good to go. Okay, so my student accounts would show here all my students. Unfortunately, this silly box is Ben, can you move this box for me? I can't see my controls because that stupid box. Okay, so your students will automatically receive their work from you. You can go in, just move this box because all the controls are underneath it. No, all right, never mind. We have a problem with this little webinar box. I don't know whether you can see it on your screens. But all the work is graded for you. You can go in and check your students' progress, see which exercises they've done, see what their scores are, and there you are. You can also add other teachers to your account. If you are the main teacher, you can add other teachers in your school. And I mentioned just now that the students have passwords, and you know what students are, they'll lose their passwords. So I very strongly recommend that when you get the list, you make a copy of it. But if you don't, no big deal. It's not a disaster. This is a little area that I want to draw to your attention, the FAQ at the bottom. Every possible question is answered here, and it will tell you how to change their passwords, how to assign them a new password, and so on. I told you earlier that when you went to the comprehension part, you could choose whether you want the settings in English or in the target language. So when we went to those French comprehension questions, the questions were in English. If I wanted to do that same thing again with the questions in French, that's all I would have to do. You can also decide whether you want to hide the transcripts from the students because you really, really want this to be audio and you don't want them to see the written word yet. You can hide the leaderboard. Well, I'll show you what that means in a minute. You can hide school classes. If you are not a very competitive group and you do not wish to participate in the global leaderboard, you can hide that. And the grammar button can be renamed as structure if you choose to do that. So you've got your schools, all your classes set, you've got your students enrolled. If you want to add another class, there will be an option to my classes, and an option to add another class, and then you will see here all your students. And again, because of this webinar box, I can't show you the other side of this, but your students will be listed, and you just click on their names and you can see what each individual student is doing. All right, back to the home page. As I said earlier, whenever you want to get back to the home page, you just click on the This is Language title up here. We've looked at the videos. Look at all these other tabs we've got. Vocab. Okay. GCSE vocab list, you won't know what GCSE is unless you're British, but it's, you know, like SAT. It's an exam that they do actually at the end of 10th grade, but vocabulary is vocabulary wherever you are in the world. Let's say we are all thinking about the vacation, travel and tourism is your theme. And vocab, here's a vocab section about holidays. Holiday 2, holiday 3, what do we have here? Traveling. Notice the spelling is British with 2 L's there. Set these. Okay, again, as you saw before, you can assign to your class and have a due date if you want to give them just a vocabulary quiz. There are a myriad of subjects here on your vocabulary list. Go back, the videos are also related to them. Future plans, work experience, and so on and so forth. Learn these, set these. Okay, you will be tested on these words. All right, that was the vocabulary section. Now, grammar or structure, whatever you want to call it, we have grammar in French at the moment. In Spanish, I believe, should be coming in the next week or two, and in German, it will be coming shortly. Okay, just to give you a quick look at the grammar sections, this is probably not going to be the favorite section at the end of the school year, but I think it's really, really good, so user-friendly. Okay, we're going to practice verbs today. Let's go back to the regular present tense of ER verbs in French. Okay, you want to see what it looks like? Preview. If you wish to test out, you can do so there. There's a good explanation. All the grammar topics have really good explanations, and believe me, I've checked these out. They're very good in case they've gotten rusty. And then the exercises, again, sort of drag and drop type thing. He speaks with his mom every night, maman. Okay, and there's a little sound I think when that comes up, which you probably can't hear. Next one. Ah, there it is. Okay. Il parle avec sa maman. Click on the present tense of the verb. I did not read my instructions. This is the present tense of the verb, because that's what we're working on. Okay, I'm washing my bike. Would my bike be the verb? No, I think washing. And you're right. There's the sound that you're correct. Okay, I won't spend too long on that, but you see, and all the topics right as far as the subjunctive and really advanced topics there. Okay, The next tab I want to show you is, let's keep nutty tiles for the last, okay, resources. Okay, here they have, I think, thought of everything. Let's have a look at the checklist to start with, to see whether you think you could do all of these topics. Finding an appropriate video, I showed you that. Different types, print off a worksheet, set up a class of students, set an exercise, very easy, very user-friendly. The progress of that student, remember I said you just click on the student's name. Understand the feed and how to remove things from view. I didn't show you, well, I did show you that under settings. Also, I wanted to tell you that if you practice putting in your class of Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump, and you definitely do not want those characters in your class up here forevermore, you just hover over your avatar and you click edit and it will be archived. So it will be there somewhere in the archives, but will definitely not be visible any longer. So do play around, practice it. I can't tell you how many fake classes I've set up and fake students. No, we haven't done this because I wanted to save this one until the last. Access the vocabulary section and set vocabulary, just showed you that. Print off my textbook and video guide. The video guide I will show you in just a minute. The textbooks listed at this point are all British textbooks, but they are all aligned to the themes. By the way, the themes that This Is Language use are all aligned with the ACTFL standards. And this last section I'm going to show you very shortly. So that's your training day checklist. The video guide. This is, print this now. This is invaluable for your planning. I'm very, very excited about this program. I love the way it's organized. For people like me who are definitely not computer geeks, it is so easy to use. And if I can use it, anyone can use it, I'm telling you. Okay, here again, you've got all the themes listed, you've got all the videos cross-referenced with an ID number, so whichever way you want to select your video, either typing in the keyword, typing in the ID number, or just going to the list of videos, which is what I did today when I was demonstrating. Log in, select your language using the flag, click to open the video, and off you go. And you'll see how I love this. As I say, for many years I taught both French and German, and if I wanted to know about how to talk with family, I would just type in 183. That was the one we actually started with in the French, comparable level in Spanish and in German. And you've got that right across the board for all the themes. Another nice thing here, if you're more sort of grammatically rather than thematically minded, you want to practice the past tense, you will see the key PA next to it, future tense, conditional, and OP if you want to teach them about opinions. So here's a what have you seen on television? So here's a past tense. So all sorts of ways that you can go about selecting your videos. I think this is an invaluable guide, and I very strongly recommend that you print this down and use it with your planning. There are also prompt cards. Interviewees are given a list of 10 questions which they answer one after the other. And here are the questions, and here are the videos related to that. So very nice little resource there. These are the textbook guides. They are mostly British textbooks, so I won't go into those. But if any of you ever work with any of these, it's all thematically based and tells you for which chapter, which video you would want. And the same in Spanish and in German. Okay, there are even posters for your classroom and certificates which you can print down. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to go back to, I've logged out, I'm going to go back and show you how you would register. Okay, you'll go to, this is language, okay. Here it comes. Okay, and I'm already logged in permanently, so I'm going to log myself out so I can show you. Again, this box is in my way, which is really irritating me today. So I want to log out, which I cannot do because there we go. All right. When you type in thisislanguage.com, this will bring up this page. Okay. If you are a department chair or a supervisor and you want to book a free trial and a demo, you click here. If you want to try out a grammar exercise, but if you want to register for your pilot, remember it's free. Remember, this is going to be a great way for you to introduce or keep your students motivated for the rest of the school year for a start, and hopefully they'll get so hooked on this. I tried it with some of my students last Saturday, and the bell went for the end of class and they just sat there. Normally they're out of the door. Okay, so you'll register for your pilot, your region, your school zip code, select your school, your email address, your school email address, get started, and you will be sent a password for you to get in, and off you go, and you will have access to This Is Language. Right, and now maybe what the kids would say, the best for the last. There we go. I'm going to log in. I'm automatically logged in. Well, I didn't forget my password. If you forget your password and you send it to them, they'll email you right away. Their customer support is excellent. Sarah in the office in Oxford, England, she'll get back to you really quickly and answer any questions you may have. There we go. Okay, so videos, vocab, grammar. I've shown you the resources. I've shown you how to set up a class, how to add classes, how to add teachers, how to access your student accounts simply by clicking on their names. So what is left is nutty tiles. When I first saw this, as a French teacher, I thought, nutty tile, what on earth is that? But it's nutty tiles, and this is how it works. It is an interactive multiplayer vocabulary game There are 50 levels and over 1,000 words, so it's a great vocabulary builder. I had some of my semi-native speakers in German play it last week, and it was really an eye-opener to them because they speak fairly fluently, but spelling, that was a different matter. All right, so nutty tiles. The music might drive you crazy. I am still stuck at level 1, not because I don't know the vocabulary, but because I'm such a bad typer. Here we go. Okay. The words. I'm playing against other opponents. Here they come. All right, get ready. Got a freebie there. How did I do? Okay, you've nailed this level and got the maximum points. So now I can go up to the next level. So that is nutty tiles. As I say, there are 50 levels and the students get points which are added to the other points that they get for all their exercises that they do along the way. And every Friday, the leaderboard is published, and I am extremely proud and happy to see our Lassiter High School here in Cobb County is in the very first place. This is really, really exciting. Okay, classes or students. So although for the class, Lassiter High School came first, for the actual students they were not. So you can look, you can have two views there. There are certificates and you know, all sorts of incentives for getting the points, not only for the nutty tiles but right across the whole program. But for 3 days, the 4th through the 6th of May, This Is Language is running a special Nutty Tiles competition. There will be prizes simply for the Nutty Tiles for the school students who can gain the most points in that time. They tried this in Virginia a couple of weeks ago, and things went absolutely wild. The kids were so competitive, and they were really off the leaderboard practically. They really, really were excited about this. So what better way to motivate your students at the end of the school year, towards the end of the school year, with a fun, competitive game where they're also learning vocabulary and using their vocabulary. This Is Language has, to my mind, thought of everything. They have YouTube videos to help you. if everything here isn't clear enough, for me it is totally clear. How to register. We talked about that. Okay, I showed you that just now. Problems that you might have, maybe adding teachers, adding students, and I do apologize because my screen was blocked out partly. I couldn't show you that too effectively, but here it explains it step by step how you go ahead and do that. And there is also a YouTube available to show you how to do that also. They have screenshots and they'll talk you through it all the way. No need for student email addresses anymore. So all the time they're updating it, making it easier for you to use. Changing language, hover over the flag. Changing student passwords, I guarantee you'll have to do that. They forget them. But if you can keep a record, that helps. Resetting your own password, easy. Archiving, that's what I said. So my old students, Donald, Hillary, and Bernie, will be right back there in the archives. And if I ever wanted to reactivate them, I could do. Adding new students, the deal with the passwords again. Hiding, showing transcripts. You remember, you go to settings to do that. The points for the exercises. Student earns points when completing exercises on the site with the Jigsaw that we saw to start with. The Comprehension, you can see the allocation of points there. The video, the Gapfill, and of course the famous nutty tiles. They can earn a maximum of 200 points per level. I wonder how many I won today. All right, this is major progress for me today. I was such a slow typer that up until now I've stayed at level 1, so I'm doing better. My typing skills are improving somewhat. Resetting hiding test, changing the due date, that's easy. Creating classes, we've done all that. How do we come up with our difficulty ratings? There, that gives you actually quite a good overview if you're not sure. Now, is my student really a beginner or what? So, and as I have said, this is all aligned with the ACTFL standards. And all our state standards, of course, are all based on the ACTFL standards. So if ever you have a question about this is language, first of all, go to the question, the FAQ at the bottom of the page, and or contact me, Janet, at thisislanguage.com, or there is on the site where you register, there's another address. If you don't want to contact me, you can contact them. And if you have a request, something you'd like to see them doing, submit it here. And they do act on all your requests. Okay? Was there anything else I wanted to mention to you? Nope, I think I've covered everything, and I guarantee they'll get back to within 24 hours to you. I really, really encourage you to look at this. Some of the comments from our students here in Georgia have been so positive, and as I say, a great way to end out the school year, a great way for you to pass over the grading to someone else, and a great way for the students to acquire some more vocabulary. So we have about 5 or 10 minutes left. So Michaela?
Yes.
I'm over to you now. If you'd like to ask for any questions and anything I can answer, I will be glad to do that.
Okay, all right. And we have several questions right here, so I'm going to start at the very beginning. I'm going to read the first question. Are we able to interact to the video? For instance, work in an assignment in which the students could play with dubbing the video in a different language using their own voice.
At this point, no, but we are working, or this is Language is working on some partner activities which will probably embrace that. But at this point, I mean, you could just put the video on silent, absolutely. Yeah, there's a volume control on the video, and definitely you could just put it on silent and have them, you know, creating their own dialogue. Does that answer that one?
I believe so, absolutely. And here's another one. Ms. Ward mentioned the books loaded are English books. At some point, will we be able to enter our own textbooks and pull up items with vocabulary related to the books we use here?
Yes, I have been told that that is something that's in the works, but I have to say it's definitely in the works because it is a very lengthy process doing that. I can give you an overview, I hope, of here we go, resources. I'll just pick this one for want of a better book. An enormous amount of work, and I think, Michaela, hadn't you said that you'd actually seen them working on this?
Well,
did I dream that or not?
Actually, when George was here and presented to the DOE, he said that they would do that and teachers could just send in the name of the textbook, and then that This is Language would be working on that and trying to get those guides together for that particular textbook.
Excellent. And you can see this one, the book that I chose, the Nelson and Don's book that is used obviously quite a lot in the UK, you know, page references and the themes and the questions they found all the videos for you. I mean, my goodness, what a lot of work they've done for you there. That would save us a huge amount of planning time, wouldn't it, if, rather than going as many nights I've sat on YouTube trying to find something that pertains to what I'm doing. It's all done for you here, and they're authentic videos. Okay, so many of the things that come with the textbooks are out of date. I shouldn't mention the book that I used for many years because that wouldn't be fair to the publisher, but oh my goodness, you know, this thing was so out of date, and the teenagers just thought it was ridiculous because of the clothes and the things people said and whatever. These are updated, they're authentic videos, and they are just how young people speak today. Another one?
Yes, and the next question is, does the leaderboard only show American schools, only in Georgia?
Oh, no. The leaderboard shows schools all over the place. Let me see. So you are competing against the one last week. I can't get to last week's because it's under here. But last week was, let's see if I can move this. No, I can't move it. This is very irritating. Can you see that on your screen, Michaela, what I've got here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so if you go to last week, I happened to do that before we started this today, and I saw, for example, Winchester College in England was up there on the leaderboard, and that's, you know, really a very prestigious English public school, which is equivalent to our sort of very high, you know, Exeter and Andover, very expensive private schools. It's a difference in language. A public school in England is a fee-paying school, very expensive school, and very, very prestigious. And Winchester College was up there. But, you know, also I think I saw Campbell High School here in Cobb County. Lassiter High School, I think I thought I saw Campbell. Maybe it was on the classes. No, the students. Nah, but no. Oh yes, I just saw Campbell. There it is down at the bottom. You are competing against schools internationally, mainly in the UK. Here in the states, Nevada, Colorado, Virginia, and Georgia have been using this pilot, so you're competing against those states, and also possibly some other international schools elsewhere.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. Here's another question. Can students use their phone, or do they have to use a computer or laptop?
No, they can use their phone. And I should have mentioned that once they have their password, they can use this at home. They can use it on their phone. They can use it at school. You can use it anywhere because it's an internet site. Yeah, absolutely. Wherever they've got access to the internet, they can use it.
Okay, here's another question. Do we need to put in the students' email addresses?
They will put in their email addresses to start with. When they get their password, it will talk them through what they have to do. And I think the very latest thing is, no, they don't even need their email addresses. Let's see, student accounts. Student select last name. No, they do not need their email addresses as long as they've got their username, which they will be given by This Is Language. So, you know, the privacy thing is quite good there. And obviously, before anyone signs up, they have to read all the privacy rules privacy, I think you say here. So it's pretty secure. So no, either their email address or their username. And it used to be that they needed their email address.
And I think the next question is related to that. Are students' passwords and personal info protected as per FERPA?
Yes, definitely. And you will see when you go to add a class or add a student. Okay, there's the privacy policy there. Do you say privacy or privacy? I say privacy. Okay, here is the policy. Can you see that on your screen?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm not going to go through all that, but yeah, protecting and respecting your privacy is incredibly important to us. So yeah, definitely, there's no danger in using this at all.
And Sarah was just saying and confirming one more time that no, you don't have to use email addresses.
No, right.
Okay. All right. We got one more question here. I think the most important question that is coming up several times I will ask in just a second. But is there an app, or will students just go to the website to use this with their phone?
They just go to the website. As far as I know, there is not an app at this point. That might be something, if Sarah's online, that she can answer better than I can.
And then let me see. Okay, Sarah's saying there's no app.
That's right. That's just what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here's one more question, or actually a comment from Sarah too. She's saying, we always want to hear what textbooks schools are using. That way we'll get a good idea of what textbooks we need to create guides for most urgently. So I would suggest, if you have suggestions for textbooks that should be included in the guide, or in the resource section, please email Janet. And Janet, if you can give your email address maybe one more time, that would be great. And then I will ask the most important question of all.
Okay, that is Janet, Janet, at thisislanguage.com. And I will get back to you immediately.
Okay. All right. And here is the big question that everybody is having. How much will we have to pay later if we subscribe to it?
That depends. If a district signs up, there is special pricing for districts, and they're done on priced on an individual basis. But this is just to give you an idea. If you are signing up for one language, it is $500 for the school. You can add as many teachers as you want to. for one language. It's $770 for two and $860 for three languages. And in addition, each student, $4 per student. That gives all the students access and the teachers for the whole year. So if the school takes out, let's say, a two-language contract, they have it for the whole year, and you can have all your language teachers in your department on one account. There won't be any extra cost to you. $4 each per student, and that's for the year, which isn't really very much. But that's only to give you an idea. Sarah Hawkins, by the way, everybody, she is my go-to person in England, and we are in contact almost daily. And I'm sure that she would also say that if you have a pricing question as a district, as an individual school, do ask This Is Language, because they will work with you on that. Okay?
Okay. And then I have one more question here. Janet, have you had any contact with the Georgia Virtual Schools? We have a teacher here asking whether Georgia Virtual School could be included in the pilot.
If they're Georgia schools, yes, absolutely. For private schools, if there are any private school teachers out there who are logged in, there are special arrangements for you. You have a shortened pilot time, but do get in touch with me if you have any questions. And I'm so excited about this program. I really am. And I don't have a sales background, but I really think this is a great, great program and has so much to offer. And the students that I've tried it with have been very, very excited about it. You know, when the bell goes at 12 o'clock and it's lunchtime and they can get out and they prefer to sit there and play nutty tiles or whatever, you know that that's a good program.
Absolutely. And I just want to reiterate one more time that the pilot is until the end of May, and it's free with all its functions and all its, bells and whistles until the end of May. So, free for any public school teacher or the shortened time for the private school teachers here in Georgia. Sarah, if you don't mind, I'm going to unmute you just for a second. So if you would like to share anything with our Georgia teachers, please feel free to do so. So let me see whether I can unmute you. Sarah, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, well, hi everybody. My name is Sarah and I'm the US account manager. I'm based in Oxford in the UK, but maybe you can hear that I'm American. I went to Pennsylvania public schools and learned my French that way. And so I'm here. Janet is there, our boots on the ground in Georgia. But if you have more technical nitty-gritty questions about things like pricing, district-wide discounts, that kind of thing, I'm always here. You can just email Georgia at thisislanguage.com and I'll see those emails come through to our inbox and I'll get right back to you. So, yeah, really happy to have all of you guys on board and really excited to see how many schools have signed up, and hopefully we can still get some more because there is still plenty of time, and we're looking forward to the Nutty Tiles competition too. We're just working out all of the technical kinks of, how do we're working across so many different time zones now because you've got Nevada all the way out in the Pacific, all the way over to the United Kingdom on Greenwich Mean Time, and we're trying to figure out how to get all of you guys in a competition together. But it will be the 4th to the 6th, and we're very excited about it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm looking here. Janet, we have some suggestions for textbooks already. I'm going to send that to you in an
Yes, please do that.
And then if you have any other pricing, questions, please get in touch with Janet. She will be able to answer all those questions and see whether you can negotiate a price as a district, maybe also, or as a school with the company. So please enjoy until the end of May. And Janet, I don't see any further questions as of right now, and they have your contact information, so they are free to contact you. And since we're over our allotted time already, I want to thank everybody so much for giving up your afternoon during a very busy time of school. And I hope everything is going fine for the rest of the year for everybody. And I hope that you will join us again next year for more webinars from the DOE. Thank you so much, Janet.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.